Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the April 16th meeting of the San Dimas Rotary Club. My name is Steve Scott. I am the club president. I've been a Rotarian for about 15 years now, and I am also a State Farm agent in the city of San Dimas. Apologize for some of the technical errors we seem to be having with Zoom today. Hopefully, we can work through everything. Let's go around the room and give everybody an opportunity to introduce themselves. Casey Cox, how are you today, sir?
I am doing well, Steve. Glad to be here. I make sure people are feeling healthy and wealthy in all they do in life. So, as a life coach, I come alongside them and give them the guidance and the next steps to make another step forward in their best life ever. As a Rotarian, been around here for about a decade and filled in a number of roles, but really excited about who we are, what we do, and how we continue to show up and make a difference in the world. So glad to be here today.
I'm glad you're here, Casey. Thanks so much. Hi, Marianne. How are you today? May have to unmute her, Raymond.
She's not doing it, Steve.
There
There
she
she
is.
is.
There I am.
Hi, Marianne.
Hi, this is Marianne Kistler. I've been a member of Rotary for over 30 years, and I am the current foundation chair.
Thanks so much for being here, Marianne.
Thank you.
And Mike Wallace.
Hi,
How are you
everyone.
today?
I'm doing well. Mike Wallace, I'm the president of Better Home Financial, mortgage brokerage here in San Dimas, and I have been a Rotarian man, more than 10 years, probably maybe coming up on 11, I'm not sure, but happy to be here serving the community.
Excellent, Mike. Thanks so much for being here. And Raymond Foster, good to see you as always.
Hey, Raymond Foster, immediate past president. Um, and the Zoom master. And this is the most technical difficulties we've had in the Zoom account we've had in the 3 or 4 years we've been doing this. So this is really bizarre. But anyway, I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad some of us got here.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you so much. If any other Rotarians sneak through here before the end of the meeting, we will give them an opportunity to introduce themselves. But for now, we will move on to the reason we are all here. Very happy to introduce our guest speaker today, Lester Barron. Lester is the Public Relations Officer for Dominica Livestock Cooperative. And Lester, thank you so much for taking time to be here, and we're very much looking forward to your presentation.
All right. Thank you, everyone. It's an honor to be here with you today. Thank you for the time. I appreciate all of you for the work, the time, energy, and effort that you put in to helping our community be a better place. And I'm super grateful that, we get to spend some time together today to learn about something somewhere outside of the United States that's doing something unique in the world. And so to tell you a little bit about me, I was born on the island of Dominica, which could sometimes be mistaken for the Dominican Republic. And I grew up there till I was 15 years young, then left my parents behind to move 3,825 miles to Los Angeles, California, where I attended college. And I went to UCLA for undergrad. I was so excited to graduate. It was my last year of college. And my father passed away at the age of 50. He was never sick in his life, was only 20 years young at the time. And so I left school, went back down to the Caribbean. And when I got there, I was actually faced with an ultimatum. The banks called me in and they said, Lester, you either pay us $100,000 cash right now, or we've got to sell everything your parents built in the last 20 years. And because at the time I was what's called a ninja, which stands for no income, no job, no assets, I could not come up with the money. And so I watched the banks sell everything away from my parents, and my mom had to start over in the third floor basement of somebody's house in the studio. So I came back to California. I finished school. I actually worked for the city of Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. And while I was there, one of my coworkers tapped me on the shoulder and said, Lester, you need to get into the money business. So that's what I've done for the last 16 years, is teach people how money works. And that's our company name, howmoneyworks.com. However, my passion is farming, ranching, and animals. And so I was able to go out and, along with another group of amazing people, start something called the Dominica Livestock Cooperative. And the reason I started it, I'll give you some visuals, is because I got inspired by an incredible story from one of our very own United States islands called Kona, which is the big island of Hilo in Hawaii. And I learned about the Kona beef story. And what I realized is, as I learned the story, to give you some stats and details, is that nearly all countries, including the United States, started off poor and only had a handful of countries achieve high income status. However, many countries start with agriculture. And so that has the ability to transform a country's economy if properly positioned. And so if you look at some details here, growth in the agricultural sector is 2 to 4 times more effective in raising incomes amongst the poorest countries in the world. And so what we decided to do is look at how agriculture could affect our GDP on that island. And so we realized that becoming a part of a cooperative could raise GDP by approximately 25%. And so that is how the idea was born. And we took the model after the great Kona story. And Kona's diverse culture started off with a group of guys and ladies called the Panilio, I apologize. Paniolo is how it's pronounced. And they were the first Hawaiian island cowboys and cowgals. And they were donated a gift of 6 heifers and 1 bull. And that turned into thousands and thousands of animals because of proper management and what Mr. Raymond Foster would talk about, leadership. And so what that became today is now Kona beef is one of the most sought after beef in the world. It's one of the richest. I just had some when I was there recently. And so our objective is big steps and big impacts in Dominica that will last generations. And so the Livestock Cooperative, our objective, I love this quote. It says, the best way to predict the future is to create it. And so our objective is to create naturally fed, naturally finished, clean, not imported, low carbon footprint meat. And that is where we begin. And so the 3 top priorities this year, excuse me, number 1, are importing live animals to the island. Unlike the United States, that island only has 60,000 people, but not enough meat locally to sustain the population. So we're looking to import about 100,000 animals to the island. Goats, sheep, cattle, chickens, rabbits, cow, all of it. And so we would like to do that so that we can actually set up, establish the livestock community on the island. Excuse me. Number 2, we've already started the live imports. We've also started importing literal semen of these animals. So we've done goat semen, sheep semen, pig semen, and we'd love to do cattle semen and other types of livestock as well. The reason for that is because we could easily inseminate the local animals that we already have to create a higher yielding carcass size, because the animals there are 60 pounds or less. Whereas the goats that we have access to here in the United States, some of them get up to 320 pounds. Those are called the Boer goats, B-O-E-R goats. And so by helping a farmer, supporting a farmer to have a larger carcass size, that can bring in more profits to the farmer. And the last thing is supplements, feed, and fencing. One of the biggest challenges over there, as Raymond has lived in Jamaica before, is larceny and perennial larceny. What that means is a lot of times wild dogs like our coyotes would attack the sheep and attack the livestock. So fencing wire is important, feed is important, and supplements are important to be able to, just like we need vitamins for our bodies, the animals need vitamins as well to survive and to thrive. And so these are our top 3 objectives for the year. However, I want to tell you about our success stories. So since we started this incredible cooperative and movement, we now have over 300 farmers in our WhatsApp group that are part of this movement. And our objective is to hit the tipping point of, excuse me, 25% of the farmers on the island, which is only 3,000 farmers, 25% of that, plus to be able to hit the tipping point, to be able to scale across the island and to really make a big impact. And so here are some of the results of what has happened since we started. Please forgive my voice. I got a head cold. And so if you can look here, we've already had new horses born and some of these goats called Savannah goats imported to the island. This is a farmer who's 70 years old who says, I want to start over. This is a meeting that we had with some of the members a few months ago. This is a chief vet and us planning out how we can raise the genetics. This is one of the chicken farmers on the island. These are some of the beef cattle that we have there now, and we're looking to improve those breeds. And so we want to go from, in the next picture, a guy with a small holding like this, which is a Senepal bull here, and I'll go back to this one. This was imported from one of the other islands, and these are the first two offspring of that bull on the island. The next one is a Savannah goat that was brought over from the island of Antigua, and now we're helping to produce. And here are some ducks, and here are some kittens, and here are some baby goats. And so what we're looking to do is to be able to take these breeds that we have in the United States and get them into the hands of farmers so that they could have a better way of life, so that they could bring in income. This is a family that farms together, and all of this family here, they all have a part to play on the farm. And so even something as simple as donkeys for livestock guardians is very scarce on the island. So we want to raise awareness around us being able to do these important things and work in conjunction with these beautiful people here who are the supervisory committee for the co-op division and help children like this to be able to have a future in livestock and in animal husbandry. So we appreciate your kindness, your care, your love, your support. It's very easy to reach us. Our website is simply dominicalivestock.com. We appreciate the time today, and I'll open up the floor now for any questions that you may have.
Lester, thank you very much. Fascinating, and I apologize for the ignorance and number one, mispronouncing the name, but number two, not knowing anything about this really. But so it really is fascinating. I have a couple questions. My first one is, aside from the financial challenges that I'm sure this has, bringing in animals, bringing in fencing, et cetera, what are the other big challenges that a project like this faces?
Great question. The first thing is education. What we've been able to do is to reach out to experts in the United States to have Zoom seminars so that our people can just get educated. We do have a YouTube page, and so we record every session and we actually post every session on our YouTube page so that anybody who's a farmer who may have been on their farm, on their ranch, less than money, education first. That's been a major thing for us.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. I have another question, but I want to open it up. Anybody have any questions for Lester? No? Okay. My next question is, perfect world, which it never is, but what's the timeline here? When are we looking to accomplish what?
Yeah, that's a great question. As I put the YouTube link in the chat as well.
Thank you.
My pleasure. So the overall vision, the overall goal is that this is an ongoing educational platform for farmers, not just this generation, but for 2 and 3 and 4 generations down the road, to be able to have a blueprint and a roadmap. So our immediate goal is that we establish a base for every type of livestock, a base for sheep, a base for cattle, a base for goats, a base for rabbits, chickens, etc. by 2030. That's our 60-month goal, is that we have at least farmers in the 10 districts. Each district has one main farmer that can be the go-to person that has gone through the training, that has been educated, and has now executed. That's our 60-month goal. Long term, we want to duplicate that with every farm on the island.
Wow, I I mean, what an amazing undertaking. And it's almost like the rebirth of a country. And that's that. I can't even imagine. I'm thinking about how immense that is, and I'm sure I'm underestimating it. Um, so we appreciate your time. We appreciate what you're doing. Thank you so much for being here. We wish you all the best. And I will be keeping an eye on this now and check out the YouTube channel and try to continue to educate myself. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me. And the last thing I'll say is this: more than anything, more than money, I think everyone here knows that relationships are the catalyst to greatness. And so if you know any experts in the animal world, whether they're cattle expert, goats, sheep, cows, horses, rabbits, please refer them to us. That is more important to us than money, because those experts can come and mentor and train and guide. I'll tell you the story in closing. Two farmers on our island donated two goats each. Recently, one goat was offered for a raffle. Each person on our island could have given a $5 amount to get a raffle ticket. And the other person gave the second goat for goat stew. So we raised money, we donated, and that's what we like to do, is we like to have skin in the game. And so the local farmers said, I will donate an animal each, those two. And we raised about $3,000 so that we could fly down an expert to train us on how to do artificial insemination. We always want our farmers to have skin in the game. We will never ask for anything for free. And so if you have connections to people that are experts, my final ask is that you refer them to us, because that knowledge is more valuable than the money to us. Thank you so very much in advance.
Thank you, Lester.
Yes, Raymond.
Although we're a smaller club, we do have some pretty broad reach, so we will put some feelers out there. Raymond, did you have a comment or a question?
Yeah, so Lester, you're not that far from St. Kitts, and they've got that the veterinarian university there. Have you been in contact with them?
You know, I have not yet, Mr. Foster, but I would love to be connected with them.
I'll tell you, and I know we talked about you're in our prospects for getting emails from Rotary. There are two Rotary clubs in Dominica, and there are two in St. Kitts. I've been to both Rotaries in St. Kitts. And I'll bet somebody in St. Kitts in that Rotary Club knows somebody at the university. And what are you, about 300 miles from St. Kitts? That's
Yeah.
got to be a quick hop on one of those islands. On what's it? Is it is it still Lot Air or Layat Air or something like that?
Liat, yes.
Liat Air, yeah. So I mean, I really encourage you to think about the international reach of Rotary, just not through our club. Because the one of the things about Rotary, and I tell people, it's not money that fixes problems, it's human capital. And so that's what we bring to it. And I think that's what you've asked us. Tell everybody a little bit about Dominica, because I think that's also it's a pretty small place, but that's a lot of people. That's not a very many people in a pretty big island, actually. Why is that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So let me share this with you. Dominica in the Caribbean or Caribbean is a very hidden gem. It holds 365 rivers of pure drinking water, like natural spring water. We have the second largest boiling lake in the world. We have 20 sperm whale families that live on our island year round. And I believe we're ranked top 7 dive destinations in the world. The entire island is a World Heritage Site. And we have a beach called Bubbles Beach that when you swim in the water, it's like a sauna, but the bubbles come from the ocean floor and you feel like you're swimming literally inside of a champagne glass. And so there's so much beauty, and I'll give you a quick visual there. But the reason why Dominica is so small in terms of population is because of opportunity or lack thereof. Many people leave the island to go looking for better opportunities elsewhere, like myself. And so if you look at these beautiful or gorgeous photos, look at this. This is where the Caribbean Sea on this side, where all the coral reefs are, meets the Atlantic Ocean. And this is some of the best snorkeling and scuba in the world. We have some of the most pristine waterfalls. However, developing an industry like this will support in the economy, will support people to be able to stay on the island and to actually be able to support their families financially. And the connections that you make for us with us will make all the difference in the world. So we're grateful for you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the exposure.
Thanks very much, Lester. We wish you all the best. And we will be keeping an eye on things and seeing what we can do to assist along the way.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
You too. Okay, let's move on to the next portion of our meeting, which is our fine master. Casey, the floor is yours, sir.
Sorry about the delay. Good stuff. All right, guys. Well, and lady, we've got some work cut out to ourselves to raise the awareness of what's going on in the world and make a better impact. How can we do that right here in our lives? It's the fine time. So tell me what's going on in your life that is going fine. Tell me what's going on in your life that's not going fine, or point out somebody else on this call that is fine. And we will charge you to do so. So who would like to go first?
Why do I always have to go first in this thing?
I was going to
You
jump
got the
in.
money, I guess.
Oh, Sylvia.
Hi, everyone. I was having some difficulties getting on, but what a great speaker, what I was able to catch. I just wanted to remind everybody, Teacher of the Year is coming up on May 6th. That's a Tuesday from 4 to 7. Our MC for the evening is going to be Raymond Foster, so it's going to be a great evening. So I encourage everybody to attend, and tickets are on sale now on the San Dimas Chamber website. And I would like to find myself $10 for this statement.
Sylvia, we'll
Fantastic.
cut that fine in half if you can tell us why Raymond is so fine at being an MC.
You know what? I was thinking about that yesterday. I think he is a fantastic storyteller, and he gives you he gives you a whole vision. He doesn't just give you like the statement. So you're able to picture the whatever he has to say. So that's what I don't know.
See, now I'm going to find myself the other $5 on that because I think you really gave me, because I keep it moving. And because my motto is we may not start on time, but we're going to end on damn time. And that's what everybody likes. That's all I think it is.
Way to pick it up, Raymond. I was kind of counting on that. Otherwise, I was going to charge you not to. So I'm glad you did.
But I will also say, Sylvia, that seats are selling out, and there are only 700 in the auditorium, and it would be awesome because Rotary Foundation is a $500 sponsor for this, so it'd be awesome to fill that out. And that's just, it's the first year. And hats off to Sylvia. She's taken 90% of the work to do the entire district. She's taken the work from the Laverne Chamber of Commerce. And we're very pleased with all the work that's being done to get the teacher there. So it's not just our 11 schools, but it's all the other 11 educational institutions within San Dimas Laverne, such as Holy Name of Mary, Life Pacific, Calvary Baptist, Rocky Camp,
Glen Rocky.
Glen Rocky, that's what it is. So anyway, I'm very thrilled to all the work you've done. So
well, Raymond, we will double your fine for building up Sylvia so much, but we have an amazing journey here. Steve, you wanted to chip in here? Go for it.
Yeah, well, I assume the reason that everybody wants Raymond to be the MC is because he says yes, which is probably the biggest challenge in this whole process. But no, anybody who's heard Raymond speak knows it's well worth the price of admission. I'm going to find myself $10 just because, and listening to Lester, we know we take things for granted, but something as what we consider as simple as sustainability, and to realize the challenges that he's working through and his organization is, I got to find myself $10 just on one side to be grateful for things that I don't think about too as frequently as I should, and the other side just to hope and pray and think positively about what he and his organization is trying to do, because I think it can make an amazing impact.
Well, Steve, I'm going to continue my conversations and my relationship with Lester off this meeting, we're both tied into Life Pacific University through their business program. That's how we were introduced by Jeffrey Bird, who, by the way, is one of the teachers of the year he's one of the awardees on this May. So he introduced the two of us, and we got to continue to kick around how the Rotary Foundation can work with the Dominica Livestock Cooperative and maybe help them to continue their work. So this is kind of
Absolutely.
the first step for you guys to meet Lester, see his passion, and for him to meet you guys.
Good stuff. Good
Perfect.
stuff. Well,
Thank
we
you,
got an
Raymond.
amazing synergy going on here. Anybody else want to jump in on a little fine? Well, it's a fine
Okay.
time to bounce it to you, Steve.
Thanks, Casey. Appreciate it. Let's move on to our Action 360. Raymond, tell us what we need to know about the September food drive.
Well, it's actually in August. We moved the food drive up to August 23rd. As you know, we've raised 33 tons of food so far for military families. Lots of stuff going on that front. We did the DBA feeding military families, and we already remember that big banner downtown? We already got a $100 donation off the website, and I've already got checks to feeding military families that I have to go make a deposit. So we only opened the checking account on Monday. And so it's going gangbusters. But the next food drive is on August 23rd. We've got some stuff going on. On May 2nd, Rotarian Amanda Huffman, she's a retired Air Force captain, and I are going to go out to LA Air Force Base and watch their first food giveaway to families. We want to see how they do business, what we do, and do a site visit and figure out how we can not reinvent the wheel for them or tell them what to do, but how we can help them do what they want to do as far as feeding families go. And that's the biggest thing for us, is to work with them. But I also want to tell you something that's coming up on 9/27, on September 27th, this year. The Chamber of Commerce, in conjunction with the City Department of Parks and Recreation, is going to hold a wellness fair. And this wellness fair is not a health fair, because health is one of the 8 dimensions of wellness. And wellness is health, social, psychological, spiritual, occupational, intellectual, and financial. And so we're having our chamber members, as an example, for social wellness, that's the different clubs we have. I would like Rotary to have a booth. Spiritual wellness would be the churches. We're reaching out to the hospital because that's the health wellness. And then financial wellness, a variety of our financial people, bankers and real estate agents, will participate in that. And so it'll be a whole thing, but that's held in conjunction with Running Scared. So as you know, that's the 5K held downtown by the city, and there's usually 5 to 8,000 people involved in that. And so with the city right there at the senior center, we're hoping to get 40 booths. That's the limit. Is the 8 dimensions, 5 providers in each dimension, and we've got it all color coded, kind of a cool color coding thing going on. And so you're all chamber members by virtue of your either by your business. I'm looking around, everybody's a chamber member because of their business, or because you're a Rotarian. If you'd like to participate as we plan this, because we're still in the planning, it's the inaugural thing. And the last thing I want to tell you about this is we're doing this because in a meeting with the ambassadors, this is the dimensions of wellness and kind of the color coding that goes along with that. Sylvia said one of her bucket list things to do was to hold a wellness fair in the city of San Dimas. So that's her passion. And you know how we are in Rotary. If somebody expresses a passion, we want to walk along with them and supplement them. So I know that Marilyn Sparks is the chair of the committee, another Rotarian, of course. And if you'd like to get involved, let me know, because that's the thing I'm excited about most. It follows right after our food drive. I'm glad we moved the food drive so it doesn't conflict, and it comes before the Marine Corps dinner on November 10th. Lastly, Marine Corps dinner is being moved is on November 10th. It's moved to Life Pacific University. We have a contract with them, and we'll be selling 300 tickets. As you know, last year we sold out at 120, and that room was packed. And so we're excited about this year, and I'll need all of your help for that event too. That's, I think, everything we got going on right now that I know about.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you, Raymond. Just a quick update off of our board meeting last week. I had my initial conversation yesterday regarding the Feeding Military Families golf tournament. I'm supposed to get dates emailed, available dates for 2026 emailed to me. One of the benefits of my position at Glendora Country Club as the Greens Committee Chair is I kind of know when certain maintenance is being done. So I want to make sure that we choose a date that works for us, but is also when the golf course is in its best possible shape. So I'll stay on top of that as we get closer. I'll reach out to people and we can lock in a date and kind of get the ball rolling on things. It's going to be a big endeavor, but I really do think it could be a massive success.
That's excellent.
Moving
Steve,
on.
well,
Oh, go
Steve,
ahead.
before you go, I want to say thank you. That's why I talked about human capital. I mean, you as a former golf pro and a real guy really into golfing and a sports guy, for you to step up and to volunteer to do this, I can't tell you how grateful I am for that because that's exactly what our club does. We work with our strengths and then we follow each other. And so thank you so much. Everyone I've talked to is super excited because Steve Scott's putting together a golf tournament.
Happy to hear. That's great news. Yep, I'm excited too. It's when it's your passion, it's not work. So this is always very enjoyable for me. Okay, moving on to the to our calendar.
Okay, here it comes. Um, so our next speaker will be Andrea Heron on the 7 leadership habits for engaged and accountable teams. And then we've got Patricia coming in from Crime Survivors, Matt Lyons, the San Gabriel Valley Economic Partnership. We've also had a request from, I believe it's Matt Weems, Scott,
Yes, correct.
Steve, to come
Yep.
in and speak to the Rotary Club. So he wants to talk about the bond issue with the school district. We're going to try to get him on this date. If not, we'll schedule him some other time. Please mark down June 18th for our kickout party for Steve and our induction of our new president, Mike Wallace, on June 18th. And oh, you know what? I missed this one here. That's coming up.
Yep.
Steve, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we have set the date, a date of April 30th at the Senior Center, 6 p.m. for our RILA students and their parents. Um, please do everything you can to make sure and attend. Really important that we show support for the students who attended, give them an opportunity to talk about their experience. It's one of my favorite meetings of the year. So again, April 30th, Wednesday, 6 p.m., Senior Center, food and drink will be provided. And
That's your,
finally, go ahead, Raymond.
so that's your, the only thing is we haven't started to flesh out Mike's year. All the dates are done. So if you have speakers that you'd like to have or subjects that you'd like me to explore booking, please, please, please send me an email.
Yeah, I mean,
Ray,
I kind
sorry, Raymond,
go ahead,
I
Mike.
did. Raymond and I briefly discussed the district governor's visit. Um, I did invite Gilda to our food drive in August. Her the person who's helping her with her schedule said, "Oh, that's perfect. That's the great that's the best event she could attend. But she's busy, so let us know when the next one is." And I said, "Well, it'll be next year, but we're focused on this one right now. We don't have a date." And she kind of got back to me and said she would like to attend the food drive and a Zoom meeting um, on a Wednesday noon club meeting. So I will provide them with 3 dates, and we can go from there. But it sounds like she's not going to make the food drive, but she'll try to make the February March food drive.
Okay.
Okay.
Our idea was to host her in for a continental breakfast at 8 o'clock in the morning before the drive started at 9 for the
Yep.
governor's visit. I think when she comes in for Zoom, maybe we re-invite her for the March time. She
Yeah.
can always come back as her year ends up. I would love for somebody at the governor's, they hear what we're doing, but until you see it,
Yeah.
that's till they see it. But at any rate, great, Mike. Let me know the day so I'll get that plugged in.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike. Might as well stay on the screen because as we finish our meeting, the last thing we do every week is talk about the four-way test. There it is, Mike Wallace.
Sure.
Take it away.
All right. So the Rotary four-way test is an ethical test created by a Rotarian of everything that we think, say, and do. And I like to think of this as a four-way stop, where I can think of many examples where you clearly pass through one, two, or three of these questions, but kind of get hung up on one of the four. But it has to pass all four of these tests to know that ethically you are on sound footing, sound ground. And of everything we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And that's today's four-way test.
Excellent. Thank you, Mike. Well, folks, I hope everybody has a great rest of the day. Again, we don't have a meeting next week, so the next time we will see you is April 30th at the Ryla dinner. So hopefully everybody can attend. It's always a great event. And everybody have a great rest of the day.